Okay, I think we'll make a start. So welcome everybody. Anna is posting in the chat, so you'll see there's a chat function available for Q&A throughout. There will be a room for Q&A at the end as well, but please do add your comments or questions as we go through this exciting new program in global sustainability leadership, and we talk through this information session. So my name is Emma Howard. I am an economist at the Technological University in Dublin, and I'm also the TU Dublin programme chair for this exciting new programme. So we've developed this new Masters in Global Sustainability Leadership in collaboration with the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, UNITAR. And so today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit at the end about the programme in detail, but we're going to hear from some of the people involved in developing this programme. And we're also going to hear from one of the lecturers who is teaching a module in this new master's program. So to begin with today, we're going to hear from Etain Kidney, who is the head of the School of Marketing and Entrepreneurship, which is in the Faculty of Business. Etain's a colleague of mine in TU Dublin, and she has a PhD in inclusive entrepreneurship. Her research and publications and her teaching is all in the areas of entrepreneurship and digital marketing. And she is a leader in sustainability education and in the development of programs and sustainability programs in particular, and partnership development in TU Dublin. So Etain will speak first, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the programme and about TU Dublin. We're then going to hear from Alexandra Severino, and Alexandra is currently serving as a program coordinator at UNITAR. So she is the UNITAR program chair for this global sustainability leadership program. Her focus is very much on inclusive education, and she has a master's in international humanitarian law and human rights, along with the expertise in European Union law. And she is involved also in the European platform of learning mobility, and very much committed to enhancing educational standards and sustainability within education. And so she's also done research on learning mobility programs and is very much dedicated to legal and educational discourse. So after we hear from Etain and Alexandra, Solly Wong is going to give us a taster lecture, and Solly is one of the lecturers on this Global Sustainability Leadership Programme. So he's an accomplished brand reputation strategist. He's also a columnist and a commentator, in addition to being a part-time lecturer. And his career is really global. He's an established independent media professional, and he specializes in reputation management, in stakeholder engagement, in internal and external communications, in PR, and in media relations. So I'm actually really looking forward myself to hearing Solly's taster lecture to give us an idea of the kind of content that we'll expect in this program. So I will come back in at the end to talk to you a bit more about the structure of the program and about the details of how it will be delivered. But for now, I will hand you over to Etain, who is going to tell you, give you an overview of the program and tell you a little bit more about TU Dublin.
Thanks, Emma. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited because I really believe in this program, and I think that while it's groundbreaking, it's also got fantastic content that I think will captivate the audience here too. The program is a result of a broader partnership between Technological University of Dublin and the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. In a world that's grappling with unprecedented challenges to peace, climate change, biodiversity loss, water scarcity, and social inequality, to name just a few, the imperative for sustainable development has never been more urgent. In recognising this, TU Dublin and UNITAR have joined forces to craft a curriculum that not only addresses the issues head on, but does so by preparing the next generation of leaders equipped with the knowledge, the skills, and the ethos to drive real change. Today we ask, will you be one of those leaders? At TU Dublin, we're embarking on an ambitious journey to establish ourselves as a beacon for sustainability. We're excited to welcome students to join us on that journey. Finding innovative and rapid solutions to the global challenges that we face is at the heart of everything that we do in TU Dublin. And our vision is to create a better world together and create solution-oriented capability among our student body. The Masters in Global Sustainability Leadership is designed to be more than just an academic programme. It's a call to action. By combining academic excellence and innovative teaching methodologies of TU Dublin with the global perspective and deep expertise of UNITAR, we aim to provide you with a unique learning experience that's both intellectually rigorous and profoundly practical. This programme stands out from the crowd for several reasons. Our multidisciplinary approach encompasses the latest in sustainable development principles and leadership techniques, but also areas such as entrepreneurial thinking, peace building, emotional intelligence, geopolitics, imagination, and creative thinking, ensuring that graduates are well versed in the complexities of global sustainability challenges and ready to think in new ways. Our programme emphasises the TU Dublin way of learning, our signature approach being experiential, connected to real-world contexts, and supportive to you and your classmates on your learning journey. The partnership between TU Dublin and UNITAR underscores a commitment to global education and international collaboration. It reflects our belief that addressing global challenges requires global solutions and that education is the cornerstone of action. Students of this programme will join our vibrant community of learners with lecturers and practitioners from around the world, fostering an environment of diversity, entrepreneurial thinking, and a shared purpose in the classroom. To the future students of the Masters in Global Sustainability Leadership, you're embarking on a journey that's going to be challenging, but will be rewarding. You'll be equipped to lead with vision, with courage and integrity in a world that desperately needs sustainable solutions. There's a truly unique thread embedded in this programme that sets it apart. The emphasis is not just on what you are learning, how you're applying it, but also on who you are and how you develop personally. Your emotional, cultural, and personal development are as important on this programme as the skills, competencies, and knowledge of sustainability will be. So the programme and this taster lecture are inspired by you, the people with a commitment to global sustainability, to knowing that together we're setting a new standard for education and sustainability leadership, one that embraces the complexities of our challenges and seeks to empower individuals to lead with knowledge, compassion, and resilience. So I hope that you'll join us, realise your potential, and move us forward together for a more sustainable future. Let's hear more from Alexandra Severino, our partner in UNITAR.
Thank you, Emma, and good afternoon. I mean, welcome everyone, regardless where you are. Before we dive a bit deeper into this discussion, I really want to acknowledge and appreciate already the comprehensive introduction that my colleague Etienne gave. Their insights, as you saw, underscore the urgency of sustainable leadership in addressing today's global challenges. And now, before we shift a bit of our focus to give you a taste of what you will find in our program, I want to highlight a key aspect of our journey towards sustainable leadership within our partnership with TU Dublin. I also would like to share a bit more about us, the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, for those of you that have not heard about us before. In short, we are UNITAR, and basically, UNITAR is a dynamic force driving global capacity building and sustainable development through its mandate, focused on education, training, and research. Through our innovative learning solutions, we empower individuals and institutions worldwide to make informed decisions that advance sustainability, and we have a proven record in doing so, namely through our different collaborative partnerships. Here's one, and one that we cherish very much with TU Dublin. So UNITAR does not see its role in this program as a mere collaborator, and Etienne focused that already. On the contrary, we see the partnership with TU Dublin as a constant, open, and rich dialogue in which the co-development and co-implementation of this master program particularly is included. We want to represent a cornerstone in the efforts to develop a comprehensive understanding of sustainability, not from an isolated perspective, but by tapping in the shared values, goals, and commitments of both our institutions. We share something very deep. This master program is that in a way, and it's also more. Through this collaboration, we're not just exchanging resources, we are bringing our UNITAR's vast knowledge and expertise and TU Dublin's academic excellence and innovative teaching methodologies together. By leveraging on one side in UNITAR's knowledge, we're ensuring that this program directly contributes to SDG 4, focused on quality education, as we strive to provide you inclusive and equitable quality education, including by fostering lifelong learning opportunities for all. This commitment, you will see, is also embedded in all these master program dimensions and inclusivity-oriented perspective, namely by bringing it closer to you through its online nature. And my colleague Emma will discuss this a bit more in detail. So in a way, this aligns perfectly with both institutions' commitment to creating a learning environment that nurtures innovation and, as Ethan so rightly highlighted, your personal growth alongside your professional career. One more point. UNITAR's involvement and this partnership with TU Dublin resonates deeply with UNITAR's view of the SDG 17 and partnerships for the goals. In a way, it encapsulates what is the essence of true collaborative action. These partnerships, in that sense, is not only about achieving individual milestones, it's about also fostering strategic alliances that promote sustainable development, mobilize resources, and enhance collaboration among stakeholders. Together, we like to believe that we exemplify the importance of collective efforts in realizing the ambitious targets set forth by the Sustainable Development Goals and responding not only to the future challenges, but today's challenges with an encompassing global leadership response to real problems and the advancement of sustainable leadership skills and solutions. From specialized training modules to global networks, UNITAR's contribution enhances the effectiveness of the curriculum, empowering future leaders to address the complexities of global sustainability challenges. And we know there are many, but we are ready for that. As we continue this journey, let us remain mindful of the transformative power of education, of this collaboration, and its core aim of building a strong community of knowledge and practice from within. So we want to build something with you, but we also want to foster all those other communities that you as leaders will serve. So let's start a course, a map together towards a more sustainable future together, and we really want you to join us. I'll hand over to my colleague Emma, as we are really looking forward to hearing more about the program and what you'll be able to find with Solly. Thank you so much and welcome again.
Thank you.
Hi.
Take it away, Sully.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also very excited to be here. As I talk to you, I'm trying to share my presentation. Give me a minute. There it is. I have to go all the way to the top. There you go. Much has been said about the relationship between the two institutions. Mine is to take you through the content of what we're going to be talking about. It's all about the paradigm shift, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm really excited to see so many people registered to be part of this conversation today, and I hope that many of you, even more than what the people we have here, will join us later this year when we get into this innovative program. This is a discussion about the global sustainability leadership, and I always start this conversation by talking about the fact that we are. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have 20 minutes to do this. I'm going to be talking about the rationale for the program. I'll talk about the content at a broad level. I'll talk about the teaching approach, and I'll talk about the learning outcomes. All right. Now, at a broad level, this is where I would like to start this discussion. We are all part of, and I think more and more people realize we are all part of this global ecosystem that consists of humans, of flora, of fauna, microbiological and biological oceanic beings. COVID has taught us that we all belong. We all need to take care of all aspects and all parts of the ecosystem that we are part of. And sustainability leadership is about that. How do you move from a world, especially in business, where there was a lot of focus on what is important for the shareholders in companies to what is important for everybody, for the shareholders, the communities in which businesses operate, whether there's conflict in those communities or not, big players, small players, all, so that in the end, everybody feels that they live in inclusive societies, that they can play a part because we all have a role to play, each one of us, whether you are the small person in a community or a professional. Hopefully, some of you are going to become these professionals who are going to go around, if you're not already doing so, facilitating conversations between strong players and weak players. Usually, in conflicts, there are small players and big players. There are people with resources, people without resources, people with access to decision making, to law making, to legislation, and people who have to live all these things. And how do you create the needed bridges between the powerful and the less powerful, so that we all live in a world where we feel we belong, where there's food on the table for everybody, etc. So this course is going to help you link the practice of sustainability leadership to lived experiences, practice to theory. What is being, a lot has been written already about sustainability, but how do you interpret that at local community level? How do you make it easy for communities in all sorts of societies, developed societies, not developed societies, rural, urban environments, to make to get us to a point where everybody feels they have a role to play in their respective societies, to creating environments for peace, not only to making sure that wherever there's conflict ends, but where to creating environments where peace and conflicts doesn't happen, where you monitor situations, you ensure that you know what the key indicators are to help people get to a point where peace is sustainable. All of these things are underpinned by the implementation of the various, we all know them as the 17 sustainable development goals. Each one of them has a role to play to ensuring a complete care, if you want, of the ecosystem that I described earlier. And as you go through this course, you'll realize that there's a way to marry, as it were, each sustainable development goals to different situations as they occur or as they might occur. And the aim is always not to wait for trouble to happen, but to make sure that trouble never happens, to create conditions for trouble to never happen. If we implement these sustainable development goals fully, we'll stand a better chance of reaching a point where there is no need for conflict. And of course, where there are conflicts, because they always happen, how do we intervene as third players, as facilitators in conflict situations, for instance, but not only conflict situations, other kinds of situations that involve human communities. And there's always a potential for conflict. There's always a potential for the strong one thinking that it's a winners take all world. How do we make sure that we change the narrative from that kind of thinking? All right. So part of the program, at a high level, of course, we're going to look at, as I said, it's the whole thing about integrating the relevant SDGs. It will look at the mechanisms that foster entrepreneurial activities in those relevant environments. Business for peace is a key consideration. What role can not only multinational players, which has been a focus for a bit of a time, how do we make sure that big and small business players in different environments, whether there's peace or there's potential for conflict, play their part to bridge the divides? I think the key is always to find ways that are inclusive, where people are consulted, where their real lived experience in lives are understood. The key drivers in each community are understood for what they are, so that we implement the right approaches to enabling for peace to be there and to be lasting. The medium and small enterprise peace building mechanisms through economic and social development is important. Poverty reduction through various methods of to drive socio-economic integration and inclusivity. That's part of the key core elements of this course. How do you ensure that when people have the opportunity to make a living, to feed their families, to feel that they are listened to? Minorities, usually we have conflicts and situations where there are majorities and minorities, and we all know now through life and lived experience, through the conflicts that we see happening as I speak to you today, that have happened throughout history, that the majority is not always right. Right? How do you ensure that the voice of the minorities is heard, whether they are religious minorities, cultural minorities, racial minorities, gender identity minorities? They come in all forms. How to create a better world using these tools that you're going to get from this course to bridge those divides. Then about the teaching approach, of course, it's very, very inclusive and very dynamic, innovative. At the core is going to be an asynchronous uh, program, as it were. In other words, you're going to be given work that will be posted on the shared platform that you go home to work either as individuals on or as in group situations. So we get videos that are thematic, looking at different themes that are relevant to the cause. We're going to have from time to time experts that will come in from outside who will share their lived experience, lived expertise, lived professional experience, and integration and action, as it were, from real, ongoing, and past environments that can bring interesting anecdotal lessons for us to integrate into our learning. We're going to look at, this is not just a off the um, textbook kind of learning. We're going to look at the coverage, real coverage of events happening around the world. Of course, there'll be textbook sections given to you to look at theory, as it were, but there'll also be media coverage of some of the things that are happening around. How do you work with these to reach specific outcomes? There will be forums to enable you guys, students, those who are going to be part of this program, to discuss main readings and answer questions posed by the lecturer or the expert visitors or guests to this class. And of course, we're going to encourage, it's very important, peer learning. How do you work with your colleagues in the class on specific projects that will be given to you, so that you learn from each other? It's not a world where you are a brand that lives on an island of your own, because if you really think about it, the world consists of hills, and a lot of times conflicts happen because we are too lazy to climb onto the other community's hill, so that we can see at the world, look at the world from their perspective. The world becomes a better place when we understand the world from the perspective of even our most treacherous enemies. How do you create a world where people realize that it's not just about their perspective, it's about all of us perspective? How do you learn from somebody coming from South America if you're based in Northern Europe, or in Africa, in the Middle East, and other parts of the world? How do we learn from each other? Yeah. So the work of the collaborative work between students is a very important component of this course for the reasons that I've just explained. And then obviously broad learning outcomes for the course. I mentioned the underpinnings of our discussions on the Sustainable Development Goals and the application of these goals in different environments. So we're going to obviously analyze different sustainable goals, look at how well they are suited to helping us bridge the divides in specific environments, which ones are more important than the others. All of them are important, but in terms of context, contextually, you will find that one is a lot more applicable and more important as a tool to use in order to bridge divides. You'll be able to critically assess key role players in each of these environments, whether it's business, small communities, big business, small business, lawmakers, and other players. Media also plays a part in creating perceptions, in getting people to believe in certain things or not. right? You get media that is authentic. You also get media, you get fake news. We live in a world of fake news that can also be generated to create conflict in or to perpetuate conflict or to perpetuate suspicion amongst communities. How do you see through these things as somebody who plays a part to hold the hands of people in conflict environments and other environments, as I said, whether it's actual conflict or potential conflict? What are the kind of indicators that you need to look out for in order to make sure that the right goal has got sufficient emphasis placed on it, so that you push back as far as possible from potential conflict happening? And of course, you'll be able to evaluate the different roles of local business and entrepreneurs in peace building. Who plays what role at what level, at what point, what resources do they need, what assurance do they need in order to play the role that they're expected to play. And of course, mapping business strategies. No, a lot of times small businesses, especially in small faraway communities, are established and run by people who don't come with necessarily with a business plan, who don't come with an MBA. They do so many times as survivalists. People come in to say, I need to do something to feed my family, right? And usually their focus is on just making sure that there's enough food on their own tables. But if the next door neighbor doesn't have enough food, or doesn't come up with the same idea, or doesn't have the same access to the local market to do the same thing to feed their families, usually you end up with conflict. So how do you conscientize communities in developed environments and non-developed environments to realize the key thing is we are all part of an ecosystem, and with firm tools anchored on sustainability leadership, you are able to see problems before they happen. You are able to identify the key players in conflicts that might happen or that are already happening, and the tools that are required to bridge the divide. These are not easy wins. None of these things are easy wins. You need time. You need to allow yourself a plan, time, know who the key players are, what the relevant tools are for each environment that you apply over time, and the monitoring, of course, the monitoring of those things, the kind of resources that will be required. Some people will be easier to bring into the room for a discussion, others not. This course, we hope, we believe, will give you the tools that you need in order to do all those things and to play the part that you can as an individual, but as a facilitator in conflict and potential conflict environments. This is it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that it gives a broad view of the exciting discussions planned ahead. So I really hope that as many of you as possible will consider registering for this innovative sustainability leadership master program, so that you can arm yourself, because it's the right thing to do. Whether you want to go and work in faraway communities or not, you want to be able to play a part at your own level, wherever you are, to making this a better world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sally, for that really interesting insight into what is going to be covered in your module in the programme. So I know people have been joining us and some perhaps a little late. So if you missed my introduction at the start, just to say again that my name is Emma Howard. I'm the programme chair for this Global Sustainability Leadership Masters programme on the TU Dublin side. And I'm going to talk you through now just some of the practicalities of how the program is going to be run and what to expect if you sign up. So I suppose the first thing to highlight is that this is a fully online program. It will take 2 years to complete in particular, but we in its entirety rather. But we do have flexible pathways, so people will be able to sign up per module, per semester. But for the full MA, we're looking at a 2-year program. And the master's program itself is delivered fully online. So we're going to have a global classroom with students from across the world. And it's asynchronous by design. So Solly talked a little bit about the innovative teaching approaches that we have to ensure engagement and peer learning in this global classroom. But we will have everything designed asynchronously. In other words, everything will be available for you to access in your own time. It's a part-time program, so people will have other commitments. So it will be very flexible in that regard. So we will have pre-recorded lectures that will be sharing content and expertise across the different modules. But we will also have live seminars that will be recorded, so students will have a chance to attend and interact and ask questions. We will have guest speakers, so from industry and external experts joining to give guest lectures on particular modules. And we will also have facilitated interactions in forms of discussion forums and so on. So there'll be lots of opportunities to engage with your fellow students and to interact. Although the program will also be facilitated so that you can access the material at any time. And so let me just talk you first of all through the first 2 semesters of the program. You'll see on the slides that in the first semester there are 4 module offerings. Students will take 3. Sustainable economic development will be taught by myself. I'm very much looking forward to delivering that on this first semester of the program. We'll also have entrepreneurial thinking for cultural transformation and power balance. We'll have a module on innovation, change and value creation, and we will have a sustainability leadership module. So the second semester will again offer 4 modules. Students will take 3, and those modules are entrepreneurship in conflict and peace, critical thinking, creativity, imagination and perspectives, virtual peace building, and responsible innovation and climate activism. And hopefully you can see that this is very much an interdisciplinary program, but it's also very much focused on building and developing those skills that you need to be a sustainability leader, whether that's within your own institution or with your own place of business, but just within your own sphere of influence. So this is really one of the key threads that's going through this program, is this developing those skills to enable you to be a sustainability leader. So the 3rd and 4th semesters then, we again are offering 4 modules. Students will take 3. So in the 3rd semester, we have geopolitics and the global economy. We have a systems thinking and behavioral change module. We have analytics for decision making and impact, and we have social innovation and entrepreneurship. And then the final taught semester, again, 4 modules. Students will take 3. Those 4 modules are digital entrepreneurship and transformation, emotional intelligence, mental health and well-being for leadership. We've got leadership for resolution, peace building and sustainability. And we have a module on professional and personal development and reflection. And so embedded in all of these modules are those sustainable development goals that Solly talked through, but also the development of those skills and competencies that are needed to achieve those goals. So you'll see that there's skills being developed through those modules, like problem framing and problem solving skills, like critical thinking skills, analytical skills, but also communication skills, leadership skills, all of those competencies that are required to deliver those SDGs. Then the capstone module of the program is in the final semester, students will conduct an applied research project. And this will give students a chance to bring all of those skills, all of that knowledge they have acquired through those 4 taught semesters to focus on a particular area of sustainability, a particular sustainability problem or issue that is of interest to them, and to be able to apply those skills and conduct a piece of research and an applied research piece. In order to facilitate and to enable students to do this, there will be a research methods module that will be part of this final semester. So that will bring students through how to conduct a literature review and different methods of research that they can use in their applied project. Students will also have a project supervisor, so one of the experts from TU Dublin or from UNITAR, depending on the topic that they're looking at. And the final piece of the program will be a summit and showcase event where students will have the opportunity to showcase their work, to develop further their communication skills. So, to be able to actually discuss and to present their work, as well as writing this this piece of research, and to share those learnings and that research with other students on the program. And so that's the structure of the program. So it's 5 semesters over 2 years part-time, online, asynchronous by design, but with lots of exciting and interesting different ways that you can connect and learn from your peers, and lots of different interdisciplinary exciting modules that you can take. So I'm aware that there are lots of questions in the chat. We've been answering some as we go along, but at this point, if anybody has any other questions that they would like to put to us, we can address those.
Emma, I'd like to address one of the common themes in our questions, which relates to the fees and the funding for the programme. The programme can be taken in 3 postgraduate certificates, and the first of those certificates is a postgrad certificate in Global Sustainability Leadership, which leads to the Masters. Each of these certificates costs €5,400 and can be paid in instalments. In addition to this, the fee for the full MA is €15,000 as the tuition fee. Again, there will be scholarship opportunities launched in the coming weeks, which will enable people to apply for a 50% reduction in fees.
Thanks, Atane. I can see some other questions around the assessment structure, so maybe it's worth highlighting that as well. So the assessment on the modules in this program, there aren't exams. It's continuous assessment based. So the breakdown of the assessment across the modules is the same in terms of the weightings, but the way that you'll assess will be different depending on the modules that you take. So for all of the modules, 70% of that continuous assessment grade will be for individual work. So, that might be depending on the lecture, that might be an essay that you write, or a project that you do for that particular module, and 30% will be group assessment based. So the group assessment element will further facilitate that peer learning and allow interactions across the global classroom. So no exams, continuous assessment based, and each module will have 70% weighting on an individual component and 30% weighting on a group component. Okay, so we have another one coming in, I think probably Atane, related to the fees and how you describe that. So students can sign up to the master's program. So the full master's is the 5 modules, but the question is whether it's divided into 3 postgraduate. There is an exit award that you can take after the first 2 semesters, which would be a postgraduate certificate. There's another exit award that you can take after the 4 taught semesters, which would be a diploma. And when you've completed the 4 semesters plus the capstone applied research project, that is the MA certificate. The program starts, someone's asking again, so the program starts in September, and we have a very exciting welcome week planned for the first week of the program, where students will get an overview of the Sustainable Development Goals. We'll have some nice icebreaker events where we'll have some fun interactive activities with students. You'll get to meet your lecturers, and you'll get introductions to the facilities available to you, like the UNITAR library, like the TU Dublin library facilities, and so on. So that will be the introductory week, and then following that, we'll begin the taught modules. Okay. Any other questions?
I might jump in just to thank Jack's message that deeply touches us, that our passion and excitement is also perceived on your side.
Oh,
thank you, Jack, for your words.
Thank you, Jack. There's one question about entering the program after 2 semesters. So I think Etienne had previously put a link on the entry requirements. So there's some applications for exceptional entry, but I guess that would be a case-by-case basis depending on what program. But I think in general, because of the uniqueness of this program, we'd expect most students to be entering into the first semester.
Just to follow on from that, Emma, if a student does hold a postgraduate certificate in sustainability leadership, we will of course consider that. And you can contact Emma or Alexandra to have that conversation, and I encourage you to do so.
I've also just posted in the chat the link to our course page. So you will find additional information on things like entry requirements there, but also you can apply directly from that link now. So you'll see an apply now button, and you can start your application from that place. Mabuber is also complementing our program. Thank you for that. I think it's unique and designed with innovation. So that's certainly what we think. And we're glad to see other people agree.
There's also a question on the Q&A, Emma. I don't know if you want to address about the 3 postgraduate certificate courses.
Yes, so I think that's hopefully I thought I might have cleared that up. So I think that's in relation to the exit awards. So essentially we have a postgraduate we've an MA program in global sustainability leadership, but students can take an exit award of a PG cert after the first 2 semesters, or an exit award of a diploma after the 4 taught semesters. The full MA requires those 4 taught semesters plus the capstone applied research project. If any of the remaining attendees, if there's anything else that we haven't covered or any other questions that you'd like to pose.
Emma, I might follow up on another theme in the questions, which is in relation to the partial scholarships that are available for the programme. There's going to be 2 partial scholarships available, and applicants can apply for these upon launch. We will be following up with an email to all of our attendees today to give you information on when that application link will be available. We expect it will be before the end of March, and you'll have the opportunity to apply for that partial scholarship towards the fees.
Thanks, Etienne. we're also very happy. So I think the last slide, Anna, we have contact details for myself and for my colleague at UNITAR, Alexandra. So we're also very happy to take any questions that you might think of after we leave. I always think of the best questions after these things end. So if that happens to you, you are very welcome to drop us an email, and we can answer any further questions you might have. And as Attain said, we will follow up with additional information, and we will also share the brochure for the programme with you on that follow-up email. Do we have one other open questions? Greetings from India. Greetings from Ireland, Amarnath. So what are the corporate career completion options, is the question. I mean, I think that the career paths from this master's are, there are just so many different career paths that people can take. Certainly, you know, corporate social responsibility is huge. The number of careers and jobs now that have sustainability embedded in them is growing all of the time. And I think this is just an area that is only going to become more and more important and more critical for corporations, for industries, for policymakers. So really the interdisciplinary nature, the skills that you are developing from this program are going to be applicable in many different areas, and I think there will be many opportunities available to you on completion. I don't know if Attain, you have anything to.
I think
Yeah.
Solly has his hand up.
Can I
I'd love to
just-
hear
Oh,
from him.
Solly does. Hi, Solly.
Yeah,
I missed that.
I teach a course in retail management and merchandising, and one of the core discussions is about sustainability, how you integrate sustainability into the retail sector. It's a broad topic. There are many areas of entry, but also, and this is in response to the question that you've just responded to, there's the issue of greenwashing. More and more companies are trying to find ways with people who are trained properly inside their companies to ensure that they avoid greenwashing, because greenwashing impacts on reputation, on corporate reputation. It also makes it harder for investors who are looking at serious, authentic sustainability integration to put money into companies that seem to be cutting corners. So there are huge opportunities of application in the corporate sector, helping companies either as a consultant from outside or working inside the business, especially broad enterprises like in the retail sector, which have so many touch points, to help them do the right thing at every touch point throughout their value chain, not just from within the corporate itself.
Yeah, completely.
I can build on this a little bit because, you know, we have looked very closely at skills reports, whether they are, you know, national, European, global trends and skills shortages and competencies that are being looked for in industry, but also in NGOs and other organizations. And what we're seeing is a trend over the last 5 years of an increase of 38% in roles that are related to sustainability. But the reality, as Solly has very clearly articulated, the reality is that every role now needs authentic leadership on the subject of sustainability. And what this program does is it provides you with the knowledge and the skills and the competencies related to the science of sustainability, the economics of sustainability, but it also provides you with disruptive ways of thinking about sustainability problems, enabling you to create the solutions that are needed to hit those targets that are at 2030. 2040 and 2050. So what we're really excited about is that this program bridges the gap between the skill sets that are already in organizations and where we need to be to make meaningful change and not just greenwash, as Solly rightly identifies.
If I can jump in here just to add to what the three of you just mentioned in regards to the question, I think it's also a good opportunity to highlight why this partnership make sense in a way, or what is the added value that we bring by having the two institutions? Just it shows somehow how this dialogue is important, also with the United Nations and international stakeholders, with a particular commitment with the agenda. So this dialogue between you, and you were talking about the corporate sector, it's more and more important now that we are able to convey this discussion and embed again from the expertise of different institutions, and that we are able to bring the frameworks that are defined at the policy level, at an international level as well, and bring them back to the companies and to a hands-on approach to the way decisions are made and leadership positions are taken. So it was really indeed a very interesting question, and thank you for allowing us to make this bridge and again showcase why we partner together.
We have another question in the Q&A in relation to how many students will be in a single semester. In TU Dublin, we pride ourselves on having classes that are small, that enable us to know your name and for you to know our name. So it's important to us that we limit the size of our master's programs. We expect that the class size for this master's will be approximately 25 to 30 students. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have any more questions from anyone?
Looks like this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not now. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking, yeah, internet problem. They've joined. They hadn't joined on time. Will we upload the video? And yes, we have recorded the session, so absolutely we will make that available to participants or to people who've signed up. So yeah, you will be able to check it all out. Okay, so maybe we will finish there. Thank you all so much for your interest in the program, and we hope to see lots of you, or some of you at least, in the classroom come September. Again, just to reiterate, if you do have any further questions, our contact details are on the screen. Anna has shared the link with you that you can apply directly to the program. And we are really looking forward to running it. I have just, where can you get, Anna, sorry, just two final questions before we wrap up. Anna, I think we can probably share it. Yeah, okay, Anna's answering, yeah, where we can get the recording. So it's going to be emailed to people who've logged into the webinar. Does the program have internship components? We don't have an internship component. We have an applied research, and we exactly as Attain says, we've got lots of engagement with real organizations, and we will have industry expert guest speakers throughout the taught modules. So thank you all for joining us, and we will make the recording accessible, and we'll be very happy to answer any further questions. Thank you to all of our speakers as well, and to Solly for his very insightful talk.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
Happy
evening.
to have met everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have
Bye.
a good week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.